Joined by the head coach of LSU baseball, Jay Johnson, who joins us now. Coach, we appreciate your time. How you doing today?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
We are doing great. I'm here in studio. T-Bob's actually in Chicago, so I want to actually start there. He is now fallen in love, Coach, with the Chicago Cubs. He goes to one game at Wrigley. He's got the Cubs jersey on. He forgot about growing up a Braves fan, but it's okay. He fell back in love with professional baseball. So I want to ask you, do you remember the moment that you fell in love with professional baseball and chose your MLB team?
Yeah, I was a Northern California guy, so San Francisco Giants, closest team. So yeah, I'm a San Francisco Giants guy.
Probably served you well these World Series runs over like the last couple of years. It's like they won one every other year.
Yeah, that was a good 2010, 2012, 2014. Yeah. That was a good time.
Some connective tissue there on Ryan Terrio. How about it?
That's right.
Coach, last time we talked to you, though, there was a lot on the line. Well, actually, whatever. There's been a lot on the line since the halfway point, right? Like, y'all have been in playoff baseball mode for a while now. But going into a home series, number one team in the nation, not only do you come out and win 2 or 3 over the weekend, but then you have a must-win midweek, down the 8th, find a way to come back and win. It feels like for the first time this year, over the past few games, when you have reached these high leverage moments, y'all have been winning them more often than not. Is there anything that you can point to that has created that? Is it just time on task? Why do you think that started to come about here recently?
Yeah, I think experience is caught up a little bit, and what I mean by that is we certainly have guys that were on the roster of that team last year, but a lot of them are in different roles than they were a year ago. And then you have a lot of new players, as well. And then, whether, anybody thinks it or not, like the schedule deal was really difficult. Like we ran a really difficult 4 weeks in a row while we were trying to figure that out. And then once we got kind of through it, we've played better. And we did make a point probably, the week of Missouri or going into that midweek, I think it was against New Orleans, of just like, hey, man, we're going to remain positive. Like it doesn't matter what anybody else says. We're just going to do that and then just keep working. And then, we're going to just need to be better in these, tipping points in the game. And that's, if we will, we're going to win more. And then that Sunday at Missouri, we were down 2-0. Then it was 2-2. We got out of a jam, got off the field, got the bases loaded, got a couple guys in. And then, kind of since that point, we've been pretty good. And the losses now have shifted from you haven't won those to, maybe you've just given up that one big inning, kind of like what happened Sunday. But in the wins, we're getting the clutch hit, we're getting the clutch pitch, and it's made all the difference in the world. So little experience, but mostly credit to the players to just staying positive and focused and working their way through that adversity.
And, Coach, great starts from Jump and Holman on Friday and Saturday. And I was trying to think of a name for Herring and Little. It's like, gosh, relievers. They're not closers. I'm just calling them finishers. I think Herring and Little are finishers. You have starters and finishers because, like, that little 1-2 combination on Fridays and Saturdays now, I mean that's hell on wheels right now.
Yeah, and that's what it was designed to be, going into this thing, to be honest with you. When we got Luke and got Gage, I believe they would be, 2 of the better pitchers in the SEC. And, I have not looked at like the individual pitching statistics and where they lie, but, for the better part of the league schedule, even though we're still fighting an uphill battle, like they've given us a chance to win. Some of the games that we didn't win that they pitched, we didn't quite have it lined up. Griffin's unique. I mean, he's kind of a once a week guy. That's just the way he's kind of built. So, until we got somebody else to step up, it was going to make that second game hard, that third game even harder. But, Christian, these past 2 weekends has been outstanding. I mean, as good as you could absolutely ask for. And, he's probably one of the most important factors of why we won the series last weekend was that not just a great performance, but he was able to extend to 3 2/3 innings, which, really shortened up what we had to do, which was, Gavin came in and got the last out. So
Well, and it's a deal where, yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to ask is like, is he the biggest factor? But I ask you this instead. I feel so good for Little on a like kind of personal, human, empathetic level because we all know his story, right? As a 17-year-old throwing in the College World Series final, and then to kind of watch his career go quiet for a few years there. He's still young, though, only 21 years old, but now to be back on the stage playing so well. What happened here where it's kind of clicked recently after grinding for so long?
Yeah, I think a couple things. Number one, and I may have said this before if we've talked about him, like in the midst of himself struggling and our team struggling, I mean, he was amazing just in terms of, hey, coach, what do you need? I mean, the ultimate teammate, and really showed a lot of maturity. Then we made a few adjustments with looking at some analytic stuff with Jamie and Coach Yeski, and really feel like we got him squared away with a couple adjustments that have really, really helped him out. And he's going out there and he's throwing his pitches with conviction, and he's in the zone with everything, mixing, and that was an outstanding performance last week. That's one of the best relief performances we've had by anybody, since I've been at LSU. And, so super proud of him. And, we're going to need him here, these next few weeks.
And, Coach, I want to brag on another player, and that's Bear Jones, who comes up with a big home run in a must-win situation in the midweek. And he was really good as a freshman last year. He hits 14 home runs. He bats over 300. But, every freshman, no matter what the sport is, you kind of run up against that wall. It's a long season. You're not used to it. And he's come back in this sophomore season, and he has fixed the things where he was deficient a year ago. Like, he's thriving in those moments now. I mean, that pitch that he hit out the other night, that's a pretty good pitch. I mean, it's a breaking ball outside corner, but he just stays back. That's a pitch last year maybe he swings and misses, but this year he stays back, knocks it out of the park. His growth has been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm super proud of him, and you can just see it. It's before like the barrel, the home run, or the high level plate discipline walk happens. He's just in control of himself and got a plan. Had a good plan in that at bat, and he's turned himself into a good defensive first baseman, and easily, and it's saying a lot because, like you said, he hit 14 home runs last year, hit 301 as a freshman. Hard to do in the SEC. Yep. But he's the most improved player on our team on the position player side of it.
Talking to LSU head baseball coach Jay Johnson here on Off the Bench, and Coach, one guy that seems to just be at his best when the lights are brightest is Josh Pearson. What is it about him where it seems like as the season goes on and as the stakes get higher, his big play ability just seems to consistently show up?
Yeah, I wish I could answer that because I would get to it faster and he would just hit 400 all year long. For me, I'll just tell you this. Like, I just like seeing him in the lineup, and I like seeing him coming up with runners on base, and I just trust him tremendously. I do think he's improved a little bit also, just with some things, mechanically, physically, but he's just in control of himself. He's focused on what he needs to do. He has an aptitude where in one of those big moments he could slow down and stay within himself, and he's had a lot of big hits. I mean, the game we got blown out, he had a 2-out RBI on Sunday that we were up 3-0. We were 15 outs away from sweeping, and he's just got that good it thing, and that's why he's hitting fourth and fifth after the big guys, because odds are they're going to be on base, and I just trust Josh to give us a good at-bat with guys on base.
Coach, getting ready to take on Alabama, team that you know well. Obviously, you play every single year. What are some of the challenges that you face now heading to Tuscaloosa? It's a baseball team, obviously, in Alabama that just a week ago, they're ranked in the top 25, so another quality SEC opponent. What did they do well? What are things that you have to make sure that y'all do well to take the series?
Well, they have a good lineup. They hit, and my hat's off to them because what they're doing is hard to do. Where they lost just about everybody off of last year's lineup, and they're one of the better offenses in the SEC. I think this is an offensive park. very similar to Tennessee, not quite as small, but it seems to play pretty offensive. So we're gonna have to pitch. I think the story of the series last weekend and winning against number 1 Texas A&M was we didn't give up a whole lot of free bases on days 1 and 2, and we were able to keep them to single run innings when they scored. And so I think that will definitely play. I think offensively, continuing to take advantage of our opportunities, not giving at bats away to take pressure off the pitching staff. And then, you need those 2 guys to give you a good start like they've been giving you, and then the guys that come in when you need them and put out any fire that is there. And, I think our team's in a good mind space right now and excited about this one. This is a good one. I think this is the one where you could say, hey, we've played our way right back into it, and we're excited about that.
All right, there he is, head baseball coach for your LSU Tigers, Jay Johnson, good enough to join us here on OTB. Coach, we appreciate the time. As always, look forward to watching another series here against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Good luck this weekend.
All right, guys. Have a great day.